two great nations and two great powers. Cheers.
Prime Minister Modi is a good friend of Russia as well.
Prime Minister Modi is the boss.
Prime Minister of India, Modi, great guy, loved by the people of India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Last time I saw someone on the stage here was Bruce Springsteen, and he didn't get the welcome that Prime Minister Modi has got.
I'm a fan of Modi, so...
For nearly a decade, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been driving reforms in India to write a new script for the country that paves way for the future. He's been spearheading the reform regime of the country. 2023 was no different. A year before India elects the 18th Lok Sabha, it was dotted with some well-accepted and some not-so-popular reforms.
140 करोड़ मेरे परिवारजन, आपने मुझ पे भरोसा किया और मैंने विश्वास पूरा करने की कोशिश की। रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म, वो 5 साल जो वादा था वो विश्वास में बदल गया, क्योंकि मैंने परिवर्तन का वादा किया था। रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म के द्वारा मैंने वादे को विश्वास में बदल दिया।
The most appreciated and talked about reform for the year 2023 was the Women's Reservation Bill. With 128th Amendment to the Constitution, the Parliament of India on 19 September ensured that 1/3 of the total number of seats in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies were reserved for women.
नारी शक्ति को एक विशेष सम्मान सिर्फ विधेयक पारित होने से मिल रहा है ऐसा नहीं है। इस विधेयक के प्रति देश के सभी राजनीतिक दलों की सकारात्मक सोच होना, ये हमारे देश की नारी शक्ति को एक नई ऊर्जा देने वाली है। एक नए विश्वास के साथ राष्ट्र निर्माण में योगदान देने में नेतृत्व के साथ आगे आएगी। ये अपने आप में भी हमारे उज्जवल भविष्य की गारंटी बनने वाली है।
ये भाजपा के कार्यकर्ताओं का गौरव है कि इस राष्ट्र में अपने संगठन में पहली बार महिलाओं को आरक्षण देने वाली राजनीतिक पार्टी भारतीय जनता पार्टी बनी।
Though the bill ensured that the seats were reserved for women in even reserved categories of SCs and STs in Lok Sabha and state legislatures, it can only become effective after the census is conducted. Based on the census, delimitation will take place to reserve seats for women. This, many say, defeats the purpose of the bill with an initial reservation period of 15 years from the day of coming into effect.
This is not an inclusive bill. This is an exclusive bill. And may I conclude by saying, sir, by saying that the minorities, the Jain community, no woman MP has entered from Jain community. Can Amit Shah stand up and say?
जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्षों प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत और विधेयक यथा संशोधित पारित हुआ।
The Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Bharatiya Sakshya Bill. The new laws to replace the British era criminal law is passed by the Lok Sabha by voice vote. The opposition benches were mostly empty when the debate on the bill took place on Wednesday. Home Minister Amit Shah claimed the new laws are citizen-centric, unlike the colonial era code.
मोदी जी ने प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद गुलामी की मानसिकता और गुलामी के सारे चिन्ह इस देश में से जल्दी मिट जाए और नए आत्मविश्वास के साथ महान भारत की रचना का रास्ता प्रशस्त हो, इस पर आग्रह रखा है।
ब्रिटिश काल की गुलामी के सारे चिन्ह समाप्त कर इस संपूर्ण भारतीय कानून
So what will change once the bills become law? Here are the good bits. First information report or FIRs can be filed in any police station but in the same state or union territory where the crime is committed. The police must complete probe within 180 days. Courts will frame charges within 60 days and give verdict in 30. Under trials will be eligible for automatic bail after serving half their sentence. There will be a witness protection scheme for witnesses in sensitive cases. Women victims of crimes like rape can give testimony at home and their identity will be protected. There will be mandatory video recording of police searches. Now the concerns. Police can seek 15-day custody of suspect anytime within 60 to 90 days of arrest, depending on the offence. Currently, the police can get 15-day custody from the date of arrest. A court can proceed with trial if the accused does not appear for 90 days. The accused can also be convicted. Agencies can seize digital devices like phone and laptops during an investigation, which could erode right to privacy. Police get powers to attach property deemed as proceeds of crime. This could lead to arbitrary asset seizures based on suspicion. There are inadequate provisions for default bail. There were many others like the Government of National Capital Territory of India Amendment Bill, or the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, or the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill that even made the world sit up and recognize the Indian Prime Minister as the true reform guru.
The potential of India is enormous, and you have now a reformer, a radical reformer, who has the ability to transform it and the popularity to transform it.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi has been tirelessly working despite criticism and opposition to build a new reformed India ready for the new world of tomorrow.
He is a globe-trotter, influential head of state, leading India in world map-setting international agenda. Prime Minister Modi is the perfect host for the international community to come together and find a resolve to unite for issues that matter, that pave the way for the future. The G20 summit in New Delhi was the perfect occasion when the Indian Prime Minister stood at the center stage and held the divided world together, putting peace first, stepping up the commerce and trade, setting sustainability goals. He achieved all this while enticing the world to savor all that is essentially Indian. Between May and December 2023, the Prime Minister of India spent a total of 24 days travelling across 11 countries, meeting state heads and reconnecting with the Indian diaspora wherever he went. In May, he was a specially invited guest at the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan. The very next month, the Prime Minister of India embarked on his first state visit to the US at the invitation of President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden. This is a privilege accorded to America's closest friends and allies. The US President and the First Lady hosted Prime Minister Modi at a state dinner.
India and the United States hear the cry and the call of destiny to take our nations and the world forward to a future worthy of our dreams. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your partnership and your friendship. Toast to our partnership, to our people, to the possibilities that lie ahead, to two great friends, two great nations, and two great powers. Cheers.
Friends, आज राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन और मैंने अनेक विषयों पर विस्तार से गहन चर्चा की। शायद हमारी टीम्स नोट्स लेते लेते भी थक गई होगी, लेकिन फिर भी ऐसा लग रहा था कि समय कम रह गया.
On his way back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Cairo for his first bilateral visit to Egypt. This was also the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Egypt in 26 years. Modi and President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi signed a joint declaration to elevate relations to a strategic partnership. The Egyptian president conferred the country's highest state honor, Order of the Nile Award, on Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत, उसमें फ्रांस एक अहम पार्टनर है.
In July, the Indian Prime Minister was the guest of honor at the Bastille Day parade in Paris, where a tri-services Indian Armed Forces contingent also participated. In a historic moment, French President Emmanuel Macron bestowed the highest French honor in military or civilian orders, Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor, on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he became the first Indian Prime Minister to receive this.
भारत का हजारों वर्ष पुराना इतिहास, भारत का अनुभव, विश्व कल्याण के लिए भारत के प्रयासों का दायरा बहुत बड़ा है. भारत मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी है.
On his way back from Paris, Prime Minister Modi stopped by at Abu Dhabi to seal essential commerce and trade deals with the UAE. Right after the Independence Day celebrations, the Prime Minister embarked on a journey to South Africa and Greece. He attended the BRICS summit at Johannesburg and held bilateral meetings with a number of world leaders. In Greece, he was conferred the Grand Cross of the Order of Honor, Greece's highest civilian order that can be awarded to a premier. In September, Prime Minister Modi travelled to Jakarta at the invitation of Indonesian President Joko Widodo to attend 20th ASEAN-India Summit and 18th East Asia Summit. After the Diwali, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Dubai to attend the COP28 summit. He joined special events on climate, finance, green credit initiative, and lead IT.
ग्रीन क्रेडिट इनिशिएटिव यह कार्बन क्रेडिट की कॉमर्शियल मानसिकता से आगे बढ़कर जन भागीदारी से कार्बन सिंक बनाने का अभियान है.
2023 was the year of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to seal his role as the international guru in the global platform.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the most colourful and at his best when it comes to election campaigns. So much so that in the 2023 Karnataka elections, BJP leadership countered anti-incumbency and corruption charges without even projecting a chief ministerial face. Their biggest and sharpest weapon was Modi.
कर्नाटका को देश का नंबर 1 स्टेट बनाने के लिए भविष्य का रोड मैप है. मैं आप सबसे पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या आप चाहते हैं कर्नाटका नंबर 1 बनना चाहिए?
They lost out to the Congress, but by the end of the year, rewrote the election story. The Lotus, with Prime Minister Modi as its larger-than-life mascot, swept the Hindi heartland In Telangana, they turned the single-digit representation to double, a feat unthinkable even 5 years ago.
विजय के इस समारोह से हर बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता को सलाह दूंगा, आग्रह करूंगा। अब आज से आपको मोदी की गारंटी वाली इस गाड़ी के आगे आगे चलना है। मोदी की गारंटी वाली गाड़ी देश की सफलता की गारंटी बनेगी और ये भी मोदी की गारंटी है।
2024 is going to be the big year of elections as India gears up to elect its 18th Lok Sabha. The Saffron Party, under the leadership of its poll guru, looks strong, confident and in command.
Middle of the election campaign, away from hectic poll schedules, a deep spiritual moment that at once connects the top boss of Indian politics to his inner self and his strong Hindu vote bank. That's what the Tirupati visit during Telangana election campaign symbolized. Prime Minister Modi never fails to drop by a temple whenever he is in any town or city. But 2023 was also the year when Narendra Modi tried to connect with other religious groups. The tone was set in February when the Prime Minister inaugurated the new campus of Al Jamiatus Safia Arabic Academy at Marol in Mumbai. He was accompanied by the head of the Dawoodi Bohra community. Few months later, during his visit to Egypt, Prime Minister Modi went and appreciated Egypt's historic 11th century Al-Hakim Mosque in Cairo. It was restored with the help of the same Dawoodi Bohra community whose mosque he visited in February. Dawoodi Bohras are a strong community in the Prime Minister's native state of Gujarat. When it was time to celebrate Easter, the Prime Minister was at the Sacred Cathedral Church of the capital city, listening to carols by the church's children choir. On Guru Nanak Jayanti, again on the pole trail, the Prime Minister dropped by the Amir Preet Gurudwara in Hyderabad. November 27th was a very spiritual day for the Prime Minister, who knows the best of how to mix business with spiritual rejuvenation visits. Because on that one day, he was at the famous Venkateshwara Swami temple in Tirupati before visiting the Gurudwara. On the occasion of 525th birth anniversary of Sant Mirabai, Prime Minister Modi visited Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi temple at Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. He is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit the sacred temple. Within days of the visit, the Mathura Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi temple dispute got a big relief from the court as an archaeological survey was ordered. The Prime Minister is keen to develop Mathura and replicate Ayodhya-style temple in the city in future. When in Pushkar, he paid his obeisance to the only Brahma temple of the world. And when in Ambaji town of Gujarat, he dropped by Amba temple to pray. The Prime Minister went to Pithoragarh in Uttarakhand to offer prayers to Lord Shiva in Parvati Kund and Jageshwar temple. At Srinathji temple in Nathdwara town of Rajasthan, the Prime Minister even distributed prasad once his prayers were over. Religious visits are always woven in as cornerstone in the Prime Minister's different official visits. The life of India's current Prime Minister is nothing short of a film. And he himself is no less than a superstar. From his rousing heroic entries,
Friend, the Prime Minister, before the last time I saw someone on the stage here was Bruce Springsteen, and he didn't get the welcome that Prime Minister Modi has got.
to his impeccable one-liners that makes one chuckle.
कुछ लोगों को हार्वर्ड स्टडी का बड़ा क्रेज है। हार्वर्ड स्टडी है, बड़ा क्रेज है। कोरोना काल में ऐसा ही कहा गया था और कांग्रेस ने कहा था कि भारत की बर्बादी पर हार्वर्ड में केस स्टडी होगी। बीते वर्षों में हार्वर्ड में एक बहुत बढ़िया स्टडी हुई, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टडी हुई, और वो स्टडी है, उसका टॉपिक क्या था मैं जरूर सदन को बताना चाहूंगा, और ये स्टडी हो चुकी है। स्टडी है द राइज एंड डिक्लाइन ऑफ इंडिया कांग्रेस पार्टी। नेहरू जी के नाम का उल्लेख नहीं हुआ तो कुछ लोगों के बाल खड़े हो जाते, उनका लहू एकदम गर्म हो जाता कि नेहरू जी का नाम क्यों नहीं दिया। आदरणीय सभापति जी, मैं बहुत आश्चर्य होता है कि चलो भाई हमसे कभी छूट जाता होगा नेहरू जी का नाम, और छूट जाता होता होगा हम ठीक भी कर लेंगे क्योंकि वो देश के पहले प्रधानमंत्री थे। लेकिन मुझे ये समझ नहीं आता है कि उनकी पीढ़ी का कोई व्यक्ति नेहरू सरनेम रखने से डरता क्यों है। क्या शर्मिंदगी है नेहरू सरनेम रखने से, क्या शर्मिंदगी है।
और हिट डायलॉग टाइम।
देश देख रहा है, देश देख रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है। आपके लिए गांधी जी ट्रेलर हो सकते हैं, हमारे लिए गांधी जी जिंदगी है। मोदी की गारंटी वाली गाड़ी देश की सफलता की गारंटी बनेगी, और ये भी मोदी की गारंटी है।
From colorful headgears to khadi band galas, with a hint of sustainability makes up his power dressing and him the most effectively stylized political leader of the world. He's a hero, fearlessly dedicated to fitness. And loves some action too. Prime Minister Modi's recent sortie on a Tejas fighter aircraft equals the Top Gun moment. There is nothing more peaceful to him than nature. The wilderness, the mountains. The natural silence speaks to him, inspiring and rejuvenating at the same time. He is doston ka dost, as the famous tales of deepening friendship and excellent hosting was heard at the G20 Summit 2023. What makes him a true superstar is the sea of fans who are ready to follow him to the Mars too. He is the man of the moment for India, and it won't be exaggeration to say the world either.